Fantastic. Live. We're on the air. Live. What's happening out there? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. How are you guys doing today? What a day we've got in store. I'm all excited. I'm all jazzed up. I can't stand it. I've been waiting for 5 o'clock Eastern all day. How are you guys doing out there? Traveling with Bruce. I'm Bruce, your host. Welcome to my show. Welcome to Wednesday, June the 13th, 2018. We're almost at the halfway mark. Unbelievable. I just passed 10 months as a YouTuber. Yesterday, June the 12th was my 10-month anniversary being a YouTuber. Holy moly macaroni. Another event. Yesterday, I did my 300th telecast. I've done videos and live streams, 300. And this morning I released another video making it 301, and this is number 302. Can you believe it? I'm just blown away. If you'd have told me a year ago that, Brucey boy, in 10 months from now, you're going to have made 302 presentations or videos on YouTube to all kinds of people all around the world, I would have thought you would have been out of your mind. I couldn't have believed it. I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful that you folks are joining me every day. Subscribers keep coming in. Holy macaroni. We were at 2,202 yesterday, and it looks now like we're pushing 2,200 and almost 20. I mean, it's just fantastic. Thank you, all the new subscribers who are coming in, finding me. This is absolutely wonderful. I love it. Weather today here in Creston, we're going to be about 70 degrees for the high, if that. We might make 70 degrees, partially cloudy skies. Hopefully this, we're told, going into the 90s within like 5 days. They keep telling us, but I think they're pushing it out. So we'll have to see. But you know what? 70, 72 degrees, that's all right. I can take that action. Beat snow all to heck. Other news, what's going on? Folks, you guys are supporting my channel in so many ways. I can't thank you enough. The Amazon link that I have, that I've only set up a couple of weeks ago, is working great. Thank you for all of you folks who are finding it on the description below here and linking in and picking up whatever you want to buy at Amazon. I get a royalty every time you guys buy something. It varies from 30 cents to $3, or it doesn't matter. I don't care. I say thank you. Also, thanks for finding my Facebook page, my new group page, Traveling with Bruce. I think we have almost 120 members in that thing now. That's unbelievable. That's only like a week or 10 days old. Fantastic. And those of you who have been sending me PayPal donations, as always, I thank you in lieu of Super Chats. I know some of you have been sending me Super Chats in the past. I don't mind getting a Super Chat, but the issue with Super Chat is when you get it, YouTube takes 30% of that. If you send me a PayPal donation in lieu of that, I get 94% of that money, and it's instant. And I say thank you so much. It keeps me on the air. This is my full-time job. I don't do anything else. I don't have a life. This is a riot. Today, I've got special guests here that I've been waiting for all week. I know most of you who are watching me regularly, you know, I was on Lido Loca on Sunday night, Cruise Wars Battle number 4. The steamer and I were up against each other, and boy, was that a lot of fun. That video has been giving me all kinds of reactions. I've had comments on my Facebook page. I've had comments on my channel. I've had private emails coming in. The reaction has been just fantastic. Universally, everyone loved it. They had a great time watching it. I really enjoyed making it. And I've got special guests with me today. I'm going to bring them on right now. I have Jenny and Tony here from Lido Loca, and they're with me live. I've got them on the phone. We're going to hear them, and you can ask them anything you want. And I just want to quickly say a shout out to Jim Thomas, Peter Heckema, Ann Jordan, Desi Wagner, Charles Jordan. They're all here. Stacy is here. Ann is here. Wes Morrison is here, MJ Toe, Paul Wilgus, Debbie Emanuel. You're all here, and you're all looking forward to hearing these guys. I'm going to tell them to start talking and see how this goes. I've had them on hold. Let's see if they're live and can catch up with me, and we'll say hi to them and have a chat on this channel. Fantastic weather it looks like out there for you guys, and I'm glad to see that. Everyone is saying hi to everybody on the show, which I also noticed. Fantastic. Anyway, there you go. Let's see if Lido Loca is here on the show. Are you on the phone, guys? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's going on?
They're here. I hope the folks out there can hear this all right. Let me know. I've got them on my speakerphone, and we're saying hi to each other. What's your weather where you are? Where are you guys down in the U.S. anyway?
We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jenny's looking to see what our temperature is. We just call it hot or cool or cold. It's 85 degrees.
85, nice weather. Do you guys get high humidity down there?
We do, and there's no breeze because we're not close to the ocean.
Right. All right. You're not that close?
Yeah. No. We're not close to water at all, so it just sits on us. It gets muggy.
And isn't Charlotte one of the fastest growing cities in America? I mean, how big is that area down there with all the suburbs and stuff?
I don't know the population, but it is one of the faster growing cities. It's a financial hub. A lot of banking here. It's kind of funny. We used to live in Nashville, Tennessee, and that was a quickly growing city too. And now we're over here in Charlotte, and there's construction everywhere. You can't go anywhere without having to drive through construction. So I'm not sure how many folks we got here, but it's a lot.
And you've got several sports teams, like major sports teams in the area too, don't you?
Yeah, we've got a pro football team, and we've got a basketball team. I fell in love with hockey when I lived in Nashville. I became a Predators fan when we got the team in 1998,
right?
And that's really the only sports I follow. We also have an amateur baseball team here, I think.
Yeah, right on. Fantastic. Well, I hear all kinds of things about Charlotte all the time. I play on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights on this channel. We do trivia. I do either some travel trivia or some other trivia, and I'm constantly coming up with the top 25 cities that are that do this, or the largest cities or fastest growing cities. Charlotte comes up a lot on the positive side, growing area, expanding area. With all the construction, it's obvious. What made you move to Charlotte? When did you move over there, and why?
We've been in Charlotte probably for about 4 years. I moved for a job. It was really the first time I ever moved. I worked most of my career in information technology, and I had a really cool opportunity to come over here and build out a global IT team. So I moved to we moved to Charlotte and helped establish a new team, and then moved on from that job, and just started doing my own thing, running some of my own businesses, and then we got into making movies. So we do a little bit of everything. Still doing some IT work, and Jenny actually is a director of marketing for a small firm here in Charlotte. So we cover all the bases.
Right on. So you guys had busy lives before you started YouTube. How long ago did you start YouTube, and what sort of triggered it to for you? What made you want to do it?
So a couple catalysts. So we are a blended family of 6 kids. This year they're going from 27 down to 19. No, 18. Jenny's giving me the look. 17 to 27 is the spread this year, and we got to a point where we got up to college and didn't have everybody in the house, and so we became empty nesters. And Jenny had been wanting to go on a cruise for years. I'd been resistive, and she finally got me on a cruise. And before we went, we did a lot of research. We watched a lot of cruise videos, and we were really inspired watching a lot of different YouTubers. And the other thing is, we talk about this in this day and age. There's so many ways to capture video that it doesn't make sense that we don't leave something for our kids to see. So, we both lost our fathers, and we don't have a lot of moving pictures of those guys. Right. And so it's like, well, if we're going to do this travel, it might be a good thing to capture some of it so we can share it with the kids. And so, culmination of things, watching other people do their thing and wanting to have a record for our kids. Really kind of is what motivated us. We came back, so we've been on since April of 17. Went on our first cruise, and we made a Facebook group around the same time that we made our YouTube channel, and we really found a second family there. And I think that's what motivates us. The folks over at the Lido Loca cruising community on Facebook, a pretty strong group of people. We call them the Loca fam, and it's really like an extension of our family. So a lot of things go into why we do it, but those are the big motivators.
Absolutely. Right on, right on. It is something when you think about it. You know, you look back at you know, family history, and when when you start losing parents, you know, you realize, wow, you know, I can't talk to dad anymore. I can't take a picture of him anymore. I can't, you know, at Christmas time when we're opening presents, and I can't sit beside him on the couch and take a photo of the two of us anymore. And you start scouring what you got. What photos have you got over the years? Where are they? Some of them have been neglected in shoe boxes in the attic or what have you. And then you're looking for any kind of video that you took of mom and dad over the years when they were younger. And as I find anyway, as I get older, I found I wanted more of the older memories of the you know, my mom and dad's photographs and movies. I wanted more of that stuff. And luckily for me, my mom and dad actually. About 3 years before my dad passed away, he and her sat down one day and ran the 8mm or 16mm film on a movie projector with a professional guy who recorded them. And they talked over the movie to tell us, this is Uncle Fester and that's Uncle Jen and there's, you know, Auntie Jane over there. And this was shot in 1963 at such and such. Without that, I wouldn't know half of what these movies would have been about. And this was just a godsend for us. And I recommend anyone out there, if you got parents that are getting on, record them. Just use your cell phone or camera and record them talking to you and showing off the photo albums so you can figure out what is what. Because once they're gone, you can't ask them anymore who's who. And I'm sure you guys found the same. Yeah.
Yeah, now we have so much video, just like you, Bruce. Our kids are going to be tired of watching us, I think.
That's right.
One or the other.
You know, it won't be the kids that will care that much. It'll be the grandkids. That's where it's going to go, I think. I find now that if I can find anything about my grandparents, I'm really interested because, you know, information going back to the 20s and early 1900s, where am I going to get this stuff? You know, so if I talk to any cousins, you know, distant cousins, I ask them about my parents' parents and or my parents' brothers and sisters to try to get info. And it's gold, just be able to mine that stuff. But yeah, you guys are doing it right. You make the videos, make the memories, put it out there, and you can't be accused by the kids or the grandkids that you never left something behind for them to watch.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, it's not even the kids that are embarrassed sometimes. It's our mothers. Our mothers will call us sometimes and say, I cannot believe you said that.
That's right. That's right. Well, well, time does take care of that, unfortunately, because eventually mothers leave us too, and then no one calls you. You're on your own.
That's right. Yeah.
But
we'll
that
definitely take those calls right now.
that's right. It's a great way though for your mom to see you and keep up with you without you having to, you know, make the obligatory phone call every week or two to tell them what's happening if you don't live in the same town. This way they can just see you and watch you, what you're up to.
Yeah, it's so funny. I got to try that with my mom. She still gives me a little bit of a hard time when I don't call frequently. I'll be like, God, just turn on the TV every day, Mom. You'll see me right there.
But someone give a heads up to my viewers out there. Those of you who are watching this live right now, and that's really who I'm talking to, because those who are watching this on recording, you know, you're just seeing the whole package. But if you're watching it live, I've got Tony and Jenny here from Lido Loca on with me today. And of course, they can see the comments that you folks are posting on the live stream because they've got the show on their computer where they are in Charlotte. And so if you got any questions for them, you want to say, if you're saying hi to them, and I know a bunch of you are, they can see it. They are reading the comments as they're coming over the air with the rest of us. So the next cruise you've got, I understand you are, I think it's 17 days away. Am I right? Between now and your next cruise? Tell me about it.
Absolutely. We are cruising to the Western Caribbean on the Caribbean Princess.
Nice.
And looking forward to it. It's been 122 days since our last cruise, and so we've been fighting those cruise blues for quite a while now. So we are ready to make that trip down to Florida and jump on a cruise ship. It's going to be our first time on Princess, our first time out of the port at Fort Lauderdale. And the port of calls are all new for us also. Going to Grand Cayman, Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel. So new experience on top of new experience, and our longest cruise ever, 8 nights. So looking forward to it.
Fantastic. I used to live in the Cayman Islands myself with my wife and daughter. We lived there for 2 years, so you'll enjoy that. That's your first time there, you're saying, so you're going to enjoy that, I think.
Yeah, I can't
wait. 17 days. It gets to the point, I find anyway, when I remember when I've been booked on cruises, when you get down to like this short time frame, you start saying to yourself, oh, well, you know, we're now in the month that we're going cruising on. That's the first thing that happens. And then when you get within 7 days, you say to yourself, wow, this is the last Sunday I'm going to be here, because next Sunday I'm going to be on a cruise ship. And the next day, oh, it's the last Monday I'm going to be here, because next Monday I'm on a cruise ship. you drive yourself crazy with anticipation. You find that, you remember the first time you ever took the first cruise and what it felt like going on the ship for the first time? You remember that feeling?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Bruce, I get that feeling every time my foot goes onto the ship from land.
Yeah.
Like I get all giddy and excited, and oh, my bed is going to be made in the morning for me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What was the first cruise you took? What ship was it, and where did you go?
We were on. So this is actually a pretty fun story. The first cruise, my brother we cruised with my brother and my sister-in-law quite a bit, and so we had to do a little finagling to get them on their first cruise. And so they live in Birmingham, Alabama. So we took the trek. We took the trek west to Mobile, Alabama, to go on the Carnival Fantasy. That was the closest to them. And we got on that ship. Everything was new. We got through the muster drill. We understood that we were supposed to leave about 4 p.m. Well, about 8 p.m., we were still sitting at the port, and we found out that the ship had mechanical difficulty, and so we weren't going to get the cruise to Cozumel. So that was the itinerary. We were supposed to go a little 4-day cruise, Mobile, Carnival Fantasy to Cozumel, and they came on and said, hey, sorry, the propulsion system's broken. We're not going to be able to do that, but we're trying to get approval to cruise to nowhere. And so we did a quick Google search, didn't know what that was. And found out that meant they were going to jump out into international waters and troll around so that we could do the casino and open the shops.
That's right. And
they said, look, if you want to get off the ship, 100% refund. But if you want to stay on and cruise to nowhere, we're going to give you a 50% refund, a $100 onboard credit, and a 50% future credit. And we were 10 hours from the house. It was like, all right, well, we're only going to be in Cozumel for 8 hours. Yeah, let's stay on this bad boy.
Yeah.
So, about 600 people jumped off that small ship, and so it really made for an uncrowded cruise experience. We woke up the next morning in the Gulf of Mexico, and then about midday, the ship really picked up speed, and they fixed the propulsion system. So they jumped on and said, "Hey, we can't make it to Cozumel because of the delay, but we can take you to Key West, Florida." And so we got all those discounts, all those we're sorry it's broken. And we got to go to Key West, Florida. So our first cruise was Mobile, Alabama to Key West, and a bunch of incentives to do another cruise. So we followed that up with a cruise to Havana, Cuba in September last year. But yeah, it was a super unique experience. And we talk about it a lot on the channel. It's all how you take it. We could have been pretty ticked off, I think, and our first cruise experience, we could have been all frowny face, but we really found it to be a good experience, an opportunity where Carnival took really good care of us, and it gave us some coin to cruise again. That's and right. So it was really a cool experience.
Nice deal. So when they gave you that 50% credit off your next cruise, was that equal to what you had paid for your cruise? That half credit?
Yeah, so we didn't realize it in the beginning. Our eyes got real big and said, what's the most expensive cruise we can take half off of? But the way that it worked was it was whatever the value that you paid. So I think it was maybe a $800 or $900 cruise for us, and so we were able to get half of that.
Right on.
Yeah, for a day or two, we were like, oh, we're going to go to Europe or something.
Yeah, we're gonna take a suite.
Yeah, that next cruise, though, we went to Cuba. Yep. You know, for us as Americans, you know, that was a big thing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. When you guys do go cruising, do you like cruising in any particular kind of room, or does it matter?
So quantity over quality. Now, the only thing we've cruised in is an interior room. Our first cruise on the Fantasy had portals, which was kind of cool. I like that experience. It was at the front of the ship, so we didn't know anything about cruising when we booked that first cruise. So we booked, low and on the front of the ship, unsure of whether or not we would be seasick or not. We're not prone to motion sickness, but I think we picked just about the worst place on the ship to book a cabin, not knowing if we were going to be motion sick or not. But fortunately, we both actually liked it. You could hear the waves crashing on the front of the ship, and it was constantly moving, but it was like being in mother's arms, getting rocked to sleep every night. But so we recommend to folks, and I'm sure you do too, if you're worried about motion sickness, go middle, or middle high, and that you're going to have the least amount of movement. But so that's what we've done on future cruises, but we've stayed on the interior. So we like that so far, and we find we can cruise more that way. But we're thinking in 2019 we might try to get on something with a balcony.
Right.
A lot of people tell us that once you go balcony, you never go back. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what happened to my wife.
There's some talk out there about the Cuba cruise. So what Cuba was, so my grandparents came from Cuba. So it was real important for me to go down and just kind of see, being able to go back, and it was very emotional for me.
Right.
And I understand a lot of people why they don't want to go, and believe me, I do.
Yeah.
But, and there is someone that's asking, was Cuba worth it? For me, because of my ties there, it absolutely was.
Right on.
Yeah, Cuba was interesting. So our first cruise, we didn't really make it to a sandy beach. And then our second cruise, we knew that we weren't really going to have a resort-style experience in Cuba. But it was heavy. I just want to say that if you're going to Cuba, be prepared to go to a different world, a world stuck at a different time in history. And it's not like roses and sandy beaches. It's a whole population of people trying to get through their day, and then all of a sudden you're an interloper in that experience. Yeah. So it's kind of heavy. I'm glad I went. It was an interesting from a historical perspective and from a humanity perspective, but I don't know that it would be everybody's cup of tea. If you're cruising because you like jet skis and sandy beaches, which I love those things too, but I don't know that Cuba cruise is that. Now, what's cool is they're opening up more ports in Cuba. I'm sure you've seen that news, Santiago and some other places. So I think in the future, multiple destination cruises, you're going to be able to go and have that sandy beach experience in Cuba. But man, if you're dropping out in Havana, it's hardcore, old school, people trying to get through life. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you came into a time warp. That's where you landed. It was a complete time warp. Very interesting comments. It just got me thinking too that I bet you within say 10 years from now, there'll be two kinds of cruisers out there. The cruisers that just went to Cuba on a 7-day cruise and had 1 or 2 stops in Cuba, and they went to a brand new port with brand new pier. They were able to get a cabana, hang out on the beach. They were pampered with drinks and like a resort setting. And then there are those who are going to say, "Oh yeah, but I remember 10 years ago when it opened up for Americans for the first time." And we walked into a 1950s time warp where, Havana, the capital city, there was nothing like that. There weren't a bunch of fancy resorts that we could hang out at. We were walking cobblestone streets and looking at the way it used to be. But I bet you that is the way it's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. About a month before I went, I watched this documentary about the whole history of Cuba. And there was one scene in the documentary where the Russian ship started docking in Havana to offload supplies. Yeah. And I have a picture of the Carnival Paradise that mirrors that picture. That's how much things haven't changed. Where that Russian ship was docked was exactly where we docked with the Paradise. And the building looks the same in front of it. The street looks the same on the side of it. It was really a really weird exchange.
Nothing's changed at all. I remember when I lived in the Cayman Islands, I was in offshore finance, and I was working with a few guys. There were a number of people in the office, but there were a couple of guys who were single. And the one weekend, they decided that they thought it would be a good idea to spend the weekend in Cuba. Now, the Cayman Islands lies about 90 miles south of Cuba in the Caribbean Sea. And on Fridays, Cubana Airways would come in with an airplane that would land at the airport in Georgetown in the Cayman Islands. This airplane was built in the 50s with two radial propeller engines, one on each wing. And they would pile in about 30 people. That's all they could handle on this plane, something like a DC-6 or something like that. And this thing was rumbling down the runway, and she'd get into the air, and it would fly at maybe 130 miles an hour to Cuba, which thankfully would be less than an hour away because it's only 90 miles, depending on the wind direction, I guess. And they'd land, I think, somewhere in Havana. And the deal was that they couldn't get off the plane unless they gave the government officials there $10 American in cash, because Cuba would give you then, of course, equal currency in Cuban currency. Well, good luck using that anywhere except Cuba. So that way they knew for sure they'd get $10 out of these guys, but they would stay Friday night and Saturday night and come back on Sunday. And it was just a drink fest. And of course, they were drinking the Cuban rum and smoking the Cuban cigars and just having a great old time. And they would all come home with a bottle of Cuban rum, and it cost them $2 American to buy the bottle of rum in Cuba. And they also came back with the Cuban cigars, because in the Cayman Islands, you're allowed to import Cuban cigars onto the island. So whenever high-end financial clients would come to visit these guys from the United States to look after their investments, these investment advisors in the Cayman Islands would hand their clients one of their stogies, one of their Cuban El Primos, a presidential, and they got brownie points with their clients because the client could only smoke the cigar on the Cayman Islands with them. They couldn't take it back to the U.S. There's no way. But apparently these young guys, when they went over there, they said that when they landed, they only inspected their passports. They didn't stamp them. Because in those days, this would be 1998, 99, if you were an American landing in Cuba from somewhere else other than the USA, you didn't want your passport stamped that you were in Cuba. You didn't want that. So the Cubans knew that, and they wouldn't stamp the passport. They would only inspect it to make sure it was accurate, and then they would hand it back to the traveler, and off they go. But that was an interesting story, flying in this rickety old airplane from way back when. Unbelievable. So you guys on this cruise, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Charles Jordan made a good point in the chat that there's a big difference between the government and the people there. I would absolutely say that. Everybody we interacted with, super kind, super genuine people, and it was really great to have that experience with the Cuban people. And I said it on our videos. They're just a people kind of in a rough circumstance. So right. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment there.
Yeah, exactly right. It's always the people that you want to get to meet anyway. But of course, we don't hear them. You know, we only hear the spokespeople, usually government officials, and they're not as fun as the people themselves. The people have a different way about themselves. And so all these stops that you're going on this cruise, you've never been to any of them before? These are all new to you?
Yep, all brand new. So we're first-timers. We're newbies to the Western Caribbean.
Well, you're going to have to do what everyone else does with your channel and my channel. They get advice from us all the time as to what to do, and they're going to have to go to YouTube, and you guys got to go to YouTube and look at videos about Roatan and these other spots to see what you can do there.
We've been burning them up. If you look at our watch list on YouTube, we've seen so many princess vlogs, and I love YouTube for that. It's an amazing tool that we just didn't have 10 or 15 years ago. Any hobby, any tribe that you're a part of, any interest that you have, you can type it in the YouTube search, and instantly you have like-minded people sharing stuff with you. It's pretty amazing. Right on.
That's absolutely right. I can't agree more with that. I was going to ask you for the future coming up with you guys, as you build your viewers and your followers and your subscribers. Are you hoping that down the line you can do YouTube as a full-time venture with your Facebook pages and traveling and that type of thing? Do you think that that's the long-term future, or what do you have in mind?
Yeah, so we're exploring it. I definitely I enjoy creating. I enjoy making the movies. I enjoy doing the websites, and So yeah, it would be a blast. We've also started doing some things with vacation planning and travel, and so really we're both 47 years old. We're looking at our lives in different phases, and we're trying to figure out, hey, what do we want to do for 50 to 60 or 50 to 70, and kind of started over the last few years jumping out of the rat race and trying to find a new way to go into the horizon. And to me, there wouldn't be anything better than talking about travel, helping people travel, creating videos, and so yeah, it's a great long-term goal. And you know it, Bruce. We've heard it. It's a little bit of a grind. It's hard to make that kind of money to not have a regular job. And I know you're doing it. So big ups on you. Yeah. We still both hit 40 hours a week, and then probably do 20 or 30 hours a week on YouTube. And so it does get tiring, but it's like a passion project for us. It's not hard to get up and make the videos, and we really enjoy it. But yeah, it would be cool. And then long term too, we have this mantra of teaching at the beach. I just finished my master's in strategic leadership. I was working on my doctorate. I put it on hold to see how hard I could get YouTube for a year or two. And so eventually I'd like to do some online teaching and live down in Florida and just, go cruising kind of thing.
Yeah, nothing wrong with living in Florida and cruising. I got a bunch of my viewers who are Floridians, and they are bragging about it all the time. And absolutely. I've got one question from Debbie Manuel. She says she loves your cruise war. She loves the Cruise Wars. She says, how did you guys come up with the idea of dueling YouTubers for the battles? How did you come up with that? Cruise Wars.
Yes. So, early on when we were trying to build our community, and we would spend a lot of time hanging out in some of the larger Facebook groups, and we still try to participate in those. But what I thought, I would see people, as I call it, lose their mind. And so one day we were just kind of brainstorming, trying to figure out how to have a conversation about these topics that people lose their mind over. And I remember that old Point Counterpoint TV show. I can't remember what it came on, but I always like Pat Buchanan was on it or something. And somebody would take one side and somebody would take another side.
Yeah.
I looked at Jenna, so we should try that with cruising topics. Right. And so that's how Cruise Wars #1 was born. We wrote down 8 to 10 topics. And we said, well, what's a way that we can go at it? And we figured out a way to randomize it, and people connected to it. And so we're on Cruise Wars 22. We just put that out. We do one a week.
Right. We
just put that out on Sunday, and so Cruise Wars battle's been every 2 weeks. So maybe about Cruise Wars 14 or 15, we were on a live stream and said, wouldn't it be cool if we could get some people from the Loca fam, or if we could reach out? We started to make. So, at the end of the day, I believe that creativity grows best when it's done in community. Right. And so the more creative people we can get to know that have, do some of the same things, I feel like that just enriches your own thing, the thing that you're doing. And so we're like, well, maybe we can do that with Cruise Wars. Maybe we can make an on-ramp where people who want to work with us and hang out with us, maybe we can make some relationships that way. We're really fortunate, out of the blue, we made a relationship with Don over at Don's Family Vacation. And, we were like, how can we do something with Don?
Right.
And that's kind of where the idea for Cruise Wars Battles was born. And so now we've just been trying to foster relationships, reach out to people and try to get to know them. And, we always have people that are somewhat interested, people that we talk to that aren't interested, and, just trying to build this little community of creators so that, we can have a conversation when we have questions, and like what you're going through with YouTube, waiting to be reviewed and stuff like that. It's always nice to have somebody else in the trenches that you can bounce off of and that kind of thing. So we're not only are we trying to build that cruising community with the Loca fan, but we're trying to figure out a way to build a kind of a creator community too. That's nothing official, but just from a relationship kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to do this with YouTubers. I really appreciate it when I get to talk to other YouTubers to kind of find out how they're doing. And what are you hearing from the YouTube clan? What am I hearing? And we compare notes. And because sometimes when you're sitting here and you're working away on your project, you're all by yourself. You're in your own little cocoon, and you don't know what's going on in the big picture out there. You're just trying to grind away to get your editing done and get your video posted. But when you get to talk to other YouTubers, you get to compare notes of what's happening, to share tricks or tips, that type of thing, make life that much easier. because there's just so much to learn when you were doing this. Did you have any idea when you got into YouTubing the amount of extra work you'd have to do other than just putting a video on the channel?
Yeah, I'm going to say not really, but I'm going to answer that. But I do want to give a shout out in the name of collaboration. My buddy Matt Allen and his wife Sandy are there. Matt Allen is the Cruise Geeks on YouTube, and then Matt and I also do a weekly podcast where we talk about cruising. So Matt Allen, super special guy. He's an educator at the Tampa Aquarium, and he knows more about fish than anybody I know. So shout out to my buddy, and that was really one of the first collaborations I did. Matt and I started doing that podcast. But yeah, the extra work. So I didn't. The only camera I had when I started, I know people are photographers and they have cameras and lenses and all that stuff. When we first started making videos, I just had my phone. That was the only video camera I made. I couldn't have told you the difference between a shutter speed or an f-stop or anything like that.
Right.
And I had no idea how to edit video either. And so it's been a journey from the beginning of a lot of learning about the filming side of it, and then. Of course, you can make a website and you can have Patreon, and there's design T-shirts. We do that. Amazon affiliate. There's so many aspects that you can get into that you kind of go into without a lot of knowledge on it. So it's been a real learning experience, and we put a lot of work into it. Just trying to figure out social media and all that. So it's eat the elephant thing, right? How do you eat the elephant one bite at a time? They say it sounds cliche, but YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. Right. And so, you just learn little by little, day by day. You take an inch, you take the hill a little bit, and it's all pretty good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When I started too, the same thing. I had studied YouTube for a year prior to starting, and I've been a YouTube fan and watching YouTube since 2008, 2009. I've been watching YouTube for a long time, enjoying a bunch of channels I like to follow. And as time went on, I sort of started thinking, but it was about a year before I pulled the pin. But before I did it, I thought, gee, I might want to try this, but I don't know what it is I'm going to do. I have a background in finance, and I thought, gosh, I don't think I want to talk finance every day. I think it would just bore me to tears after a while. And then I thought about other thoughts, and then I thought I love traveling so much. And I've really enjoyed all the trips I've been on, and gosh, I wouldn't mind, sharing my memories of that. But at that time, I still was only thinking about just making a video and posting it. And I would look at other YouTubers and how they were posting videos, and I would just get intimidated. I go, oh my gosh, look at the quality of the footage, and these drone shots, and these time-lapse shots, and these slow motion shots, and the fading in and the fading out. I mean, it's just looking at, top quality product. And I realized, yeah, Bruce, but there are people out there who just use a cell phone and walk around, and they put videos out and the pictures all jumbly and jiggery and all that. And I thought, maybe you can find somewhere in the middle. I had no idea, though, that I would actually become a live streamer on a daily basis, that would be my niche, because you just don't know until you get into the business or the crafting of YouTube, until you find out what really works for you and what you really enjoy doing. And I had already done about 100 videos before I did my first live stream. And now, since January the 6th of this year is when I started, and January the 8th I really started doing it. The 6th was a test. And now, I would never go back. I mean, I still do regular videos. I mean, I put one up this morning, but the live streaming is what it is for me. It's just so much fun. But all that other work you're talking about, I had no idea I would become a Facebooker. I would become an Instagrammer. I would become a Twitterer, a Pinterester, and all these other features, and my own merchandise like this with Redbubble that I use. This is just one thing after another thing after another thing. Now affiliate marketing, and it just goes on and on and on. But it's exciting too. I find it just, there's no end to this project, where you can take it, how far you can take it. It isn't just put up a couple of videos every couple of days and go from there. It's endless, and you can take it as far or not as far as you want.
That's really what I like about it. Sounds like you spent a lot of years in corporate America. I did too, and I tell you, what we're doing here, creating things and connecting to people, it like you said, it's as much or as little as you want to do it, and the reward, you know, a lot of times, you know, sometimes you do work and you're not really sure how it connects when you're working for a company or a corporation. It's hard to draw that line between your work and the output of your work and what difference it's making. But at least when you're creating and you're connecting people to your creation and you're getting their feedback and you're making relationships, it's a real tangible feeling that you get. It's and to me that's part of the excitement of being a creator and trying to share your experiences with other people. It's being able to make that connection. And you know, I agree with you. I love all those guys that make beautiful film, and I try to learn some of those techniques. But you know what I've learned just after a year, and we're at about 300 and something videos, is that people like people, right? Like you know that's why you got the success, Bruce, because everybody loves to see your smiling, laughing face every day on the live stream. And you know it's not so much; it doesn't matter so much as long as the stream works and they get to hear you talk. Then that's where the connection point comes from, and you know that's really what we try to do. It's trying to be sticky enough that people can connect to you for that shared experience. So that's I think we share that as a common bond.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. You've been on the air now since last April, so it's a little over a year now. Have you had anyone approach you on the street and say, "Hey, aren't you that guy on that YouTube channel?"
Yeah, so here's the weirdest one. We went to our local Subway here in Charlotte, and the kid working the counter, he's probably 20 years old, and he starts talking me up. Hey man, what's going on? No, nothing. Just get a sandwich, you know. So did you just get out of work or something? Yeah, just got out of work. And he goes, do you do anything else besides work? Well, yeah. My wife and I would make these videos on YouTube. He goes, I've seen you on YouTube. And so I had a nice conversation with the Subway guy. Got to the end, and he I paid my bill, and I gave him a weird look, and he goes, yeah, I gave you a little bit of a discount. So I got this weird Lido Loca discount at the local Subway from some kid that I don't know that's ever been on a cruise ship. So it's pretty wild. But yeah, and then, of course, our goodbye line is we'll see you on the Lido. And when we were on the Carnival Liberty in April, we had somebody just run up to us just yelling, see you on the Lido. See you on the Lido. It's you. See you on the Lido. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I haven't had that happen to me yet here in little old Creston, British Columbia, a town of 5,000 people. But I was in Calgary a couple of weeks ago for a couple of days and visiting my daughter, and my wife and I were just walking along the sidewalk, headed to a restaurant to meet some friends, and I heard a voice behind me. Oh, is that you, Bruce? And I turn around, and my wife looks at this young woman, a very nice looking young gal, and I'm getting all beside myself here. I'm thinking this is pretty good. I'm being recognized by a very attractive young lady. It turns out she's just a friend of a friend. Nothing to do with the channel at all. So for a little while there, well, one of my viewers was telling me, now this has happened to him a couple of times. He was one of the first guys to buy some of my T-shirts, and he bought some of the coffee mugs and stuff. And he was at his Publix grocery store buying some groceries, and he was wearing a Traveling with Bruce T-shirt. When he says, out of nowhere, this woman comes up to him and says, "Oh, hi, are you Bruce with Traveling with Bruce?" And he says, "No, I'm not. I'm just a fan of his. I bought this shirt. I bought this shirt because I love his channel." And she says, "Oh, I love that channel." And so I thought, well, vicariously through other people, I'm being recognized. But this guy has a lot more hair than I have, so she must think I have a full head of hair, but there's nothing really much left. But funny stuff. So now, when you guys are doing this trip coming up, are you organizing some kind of a meet and greet cruise on this Princess Cruise?
No, this one we just kind of we had somebody's asking about our group cruises. Also, we have our very first. We're dipping our toe into the group cruise world in October. Right. We're going on the Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville over Halloween. Right. And then we have a second group cruise in April of next year out of Port Canaveral on the Carnival on the Breeze. And so this one, we were really just sitting in the cruise blues, and we said let's do something. And Jenny's been working really hard, just starting to figure out how to do booking travel, vacation planning. And she finished all of her princess training, and so we had a really great opportunity to jump on a cruise. One of the reasons we wanted to figure out how to book travel is because you get a lot of good opportunities like that.
Right. And
so we were able to, we were talking today though, we're going to be down in that area. We're trying to figure out if we can do a meet and greet, but I don't think anybody that we know is going to be on the cruise. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody on the cruise knows us, which is kind of a weird phenomenon, but yeah, nothing, we don't have, we normally travel with some of our family, and we don't have anybody but us. So this is going to be our first cruise just us, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as as these months go by and you take future cruises. It will be interesting for you guys to see if you do get approached by obviously complete strangers who you've never met before, who will come up to you and go, "I've been watching you for months," and they'll start to they'll talk to you like they know you, and that's going to be an interesting experience. I kind of wonder about someone like Jim Zimmerlin, who has 205,000 subscribers. When he goes on a cruise, I know that as far as I understand, he doesn't do meet and greet cruises, that type of thing. He just goes on cruises with his wife and maybe some friends and relatives. But I'm sure he gets recognized all the time on cruise ships.
I would think so. He's got that distinct voice too. You know people do.
Yeah.
Our friend Liz Green is in the house, and she's actually going to be going out of Port Canaveral at the same time we're going out of Fort Lauderdale. So I think there might be opportunity for us to do some sort of meetup. But I just want to say hi to Liz. She's a good friend of the local family, and I'm glad she's over here hanging out with you.
Yeah, welcome, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm sure Jim gets recognized a lot. And to what you're saying, I have had some conversations when I start meeting people for the first time that I introduce myself to a guy that's watched the videos, that was coming on the Cruise Geeks podcast, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Tony. How you doing?" And the guy's like, "Well, I know who you are." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's so weird sometimes you don't know people, but they know you pretty well.
They know you very well. Yeah, and they remember stuff. Like they may have watched 10 or 20 of your shows, and they remember certain things about those shows. But for you, it's 120 shows ago, and so you have to ask them, "Well, what did I say? Tell me what I told you." Just kind of bring it back to me, because it's been so long. I find that all the time when over the years when I was a kid, I'd watch Johnny Carson or The Tonight Show, or watch David Letterman, and he'd have a guest on, and he'd ask him a question about a movie they did, and they'd go, "I hardly remember that movie because it was 20 years ago. I've done 40 movies since. I've got all these scripts that I've had to memorize, and I'm trying to forget them, as I only had to remember the lines for that movie for that moment I did the movie, and then it's over. But for the rest of the world, that movie is out there forever, and we get to know these people by these moments in time in their careers." But for us, we I think we're gonna have to get used to that as time goes on. If we keep doing what we're doing, we'll be recognized more and more, and especially on cruise ships. And I'm certainly looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to getting on some ships and visiting, meeting my peeps face to face. I think it's going to be great, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're the same here, and that's what we always say. If you see us out anywhere, please come and talk to us. We're happy to meet new people, and anybody. We're not hiding from the people, so that's I think it comes with it a little bit. Right. So I'm glad to meet people. Right. I'm a little bit shy. That's the thing. It's a neat exercise, and exercising my introversion is getting to meet people out and about. Jenny's the social butterfly.
There you go.
It's true. And it's opposite when we're live, right? Like I'm kind of the quiet one, Tony's the outgoing one, but in real life, I'm the one that's hugging you. What's going on? Like I know you for years, and Tony, sits there and he's quiet.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm generally very reserved myself. I don't mind being alone, and if I've got a day to be by myself, to watch TV and hang out, that would be fine. Now I find that my life is so consumed with this, and I'm getting such a kick out of it that I'm out there talking all the time to a camera in a computer to my followers, which are just been so nice to me, and you really begin to build relationships with these people. It's fantastic. You know, in real life, close friends. I think I have one who's kind of a pal, and then, you know, maybe a cousin, and that's it. That's as far as people really get to me. And my wife, on the other hand, oh my goodness, Jen, which is not a real name, by the way. We call her Jennifer because no one knows what she looks like. I say that my wife looks like Jennifer Aniston, so that's what we call her, Jen. Jen has a huge family with all kinds of cousins and uncles and aunts and everything else, and she's the one who's the exactly. She's the party animal. She's the one who's having all the interaction, and she has to usually drag me to some of these family events. Although I will say, on many occasions, she'll say, "Oh, well, we're going camping in such and such a park, and well, you don't have to come." And I go, "Thank you, thank you, leave me alone." So now they, you know, folks want to see me, they can see me on camera, and I love it because I'm still alone in my living room doing what I'm doing. But I am looking forward to cruises and meet and greets. This is going to be fun, putting faces to the names of these folks and getting together with them. And I'm sure you guys will do the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Now, dream cruise. What is a dream cruise for you guys? I think you've told me Europe is something in your wheelhouse. Are you thinking of like a repositioning cruise sometime, or flying over to Europe and taking a cruise in the Caribbean? What have you got, or in Mediterranean? I mean, what is in your wheelhouse? What would you love to be doing someday? What cruises?
Yeah. So I don't know if we're on the same page on it. So I'll let Jenny. Jenny, what's the big cruise you would, if you could go on any cruise, what would you go on?
I would love to do a transatlantic. Maybe also like the boot part of Italy, Spain. I think those are probably my dream ones.
Right.
Yeah, I actually think transatlantic.
Coming to Canada and meeting Bruce.
That's right. Yeah, so we've been watching Pero DJ do their Canadian cruise up the East Coast, and so I think that's on the list. I would love to go transatlantic. I saw, when we first started cruising, I saw a really reasonable cruise from Florida up to like Amsterdam, going through the Azores and those kind of things. That looked really cool. Yeah. And then I would love to land over there in the Mediterranean and tool around the Mediterranean. But you got to go to Alaska at some point, and of course I would love to go up the East Coast into Canada. So lots of options there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Canada is seasonal, obviously. You know, Alaska, of course, is a seasonal thing, just like you know, for a lot of people, Mexican Riviera cruises are, you know, winter only. But yeah, Canada has some phenomenal coastline to see. The repositioning cruises, oh man, those are the deals of deals. For me too, I would love to do a repositioning cruise. Maybe I had a viewer of mine just a few months ago. He and his wife did 3 back-to-back cruises. They were on the first cruise. They did an Eastern Caribbean cruise for a week. Then they did a second cruise to stay on the ship and did a Western Caribbean cruise. And then the third one was the repositioning all the way to Copenhagen for 15 days. And so they were on the same ship for what, 30, almost 30 days or something like that, 29 days or so, without having to unpack. Keep everything in the room, and away they went, and they loved it, of course. And the best part about it for us was they were on my show every day when I was live. They would be on the show, texting, talking to us and telling us what's going on. So that was pretty cool. But I would love to do a repositioning cruise. I have been fortunate enough to have a cruise with my daughter from Southampton into the Mediterranean for about an 11-day cruise, which ended in Barcelona. And I got to tell you, it was fantastic because everything's in U.S. money. Everything was in English. The meals were all for North American cruisers. It was a Norwegian Jade cruise ship that I was on. Fantastic experience. Loved it. And every day, you know, you're off the ship during the day and you're walking around maybe in Lisbon or you're in Naples, Italy. And you know that at about 5 in the afternoon, guess what? You're back in your little corner of North America. You're back kind of home again, where your stuff is, where the buffet is, where the restaurants are, where the entertainment is in English. And you just didn't feel, you felt like you were in Europe, but you didn't feel lost in Europe. You felt totally in control. And I really enjoyed that cruise for that feeling. My daughter and I had a wonderful time. And I'm now trying to get Jen to sign up and say, let's do this as well, and we'll take our YouTubers with us. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one of the things that appeals to us about cruising is you only have to navigate the uncertainty for short periods of time. So exactly what you were saying there. Once you're on the cruise ship, like when we went to Cuba, we knew that we only had to figure out Cuba for 8 hours. So that seemed a lot more manageable than, say, going, landing in a country and trying to figure out your way around. So that's really a big appeal for us for cruising.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's just a day visit. And if in our case, when we did the European thing, we had escorted tours a couple of times, and those were so nice. The Rome trip was interesting because you land about about an hour and 20 minutes by a bus out of Rome itself. You're actually at a port, and you get bussed into Rome. And what I loved about it was we're high up. I can look out the window. I don't have to worry about driving there. I got a guy who's driving there. And we ended up parked in a parking lot reserved for tour buses right next to the Colosseum. And I tell you, what a thrill, because all I had to do was look out the window from one side of the bus to the other side of the bus. I was taking photos from inside the bus just like every other tourist I've ever seen, and I didn't care. I had a digital camera, so it didn't matter how many I took. And you get off the bus, and right there, the Colosseum is just standing, 300 feet away from you. And this is fantastic. And that day trip, took in lunch as well. That was an 8-hour tour. So we were taken to a restaurant where we were fed off a menu. I think we had 3 choices off the menu, all included in the tour. No need for money to tip anybody. It was all taken care of by the cruise line. It was all built into this package. And after lunch, we went to the Vatican, and we got to see the Vatican and got a tour of that. And then they left us alone for an hour and a half. Walk the area all you want. Just meet us over here in an hour and a half. I'll tell you, fantastic. After that, we got on the bus, and I could just lay back. And if I was tired, I could nap. If I, want to keep looking out the window, I could, because I knew we're not missing the ship. These guys are taking us right to the cruise ship, and they're waiting for us because there's bus loads of us coming back from the Vatican and other areas in Rome. What a fantastic experience, all in English as well. Talk about comfortable and relaxed and informative, just absolutely wonderful. And that's the way to go. I mean, that's a great way to taste, to like a Rome taster. And we had a Naples taster. We went to Florence for a day, tasted that, and you kind of say to yourself, someday I may just fly here with my wife and spend a week or two down here. Now that I've seen a little bit, just a bit here and a bit here and a bit here, I now know I'd like to see it again. And that's fantastic.
Well, that sounds like awesome travels. Hey, I just wanted to say I saw the Steam and Bean come in to the chat.
Steamer,
your battle partner. I just wanted to give a shout out to Steam and Bean. That was such a fun thing that you guys did. Always fun to see him here.
Yeah, Steamer, it was great having him. He generally joins my show every day, usually in the latter part, because during the school year, he's a grade 5 school teacher, and he's got to wrestle those kids. And then he comes over here, and we have a ton of fun with him. And I always welcome him into the show. Everyone welcomes him around. Love having the Steamer here. Lots of fun is right. I kept it quiet during the run-up to the show, during the run-up to the release of the video. I didn't let my viewers in on the fact that it was Steamer and I going at it for whether or not you should bring booze on the ship. And the Steamer kept it quiet too, and then it dropped on Sunday, and then after that we started talking about it. It was a lot of fun. Great video.
He's saying in the chat that he felt like he won. I think Jenny and I are sticking with the too close to call.
Too close to call. Yes, too close to call. No way. That was a good time. Cruise Geeks, Bruce killed it. Bruce killed it. I love that. Yeah, that was a great time. I got my everything lit up for me on my social media sites. It all lit up. It was great, and really enjoyed doing it. I'm looking forward to doing more collaborations with more YouTubers, having more YouTubers on this channel for interviews and just talk about what they're up to and what their game plan is. I think it makes for interesting. I think it makes for an interesting show. It looks like everyone here seems to be enjoying it, and I think it's going over well. Fantastic, you guys. So 17 days, and you guys are on a Princess cruise ship for the first time. You're going to have to of course, you're going to take all kinds of video. You're going to do all kinds of videos when you get back with all that information you're going to have, so that your followers can figure out, what do you think of that? And you'll do a direct comparison to Carnival and Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. You know, the thing that people, I think, miss is that everybody thinks that Carnival is the cheap cruise line. Like you did that video today about comparing Walmart to Carnival. You know, the thing that people don't realize is, if you really do your shopping, and I know you guys know this, if you shop around and keep an eye on cruise fares on all the different cruise lines that are out there, you'll find deals sometimes that you can't believe. You'll find a Holland America price that beats everybody. Then you'll find a cruise on Norwegian that's cheaper. Then a Carnival trip comes in nice and cheap. Then it's a Royal Caribbean. It varies, I guess, depending on the time of the year, the location of the cruise, how long the cruise is going to be, the age of the ship, I guess. Of course, brand new ships, you're not going to get super cheap deals. But boy, if you're willing to go on a 10-year-old cruise ship that just been refurbished, you can find some pretty good deals out there. You just got to shop around, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about that before. If you do your homework and you catch it right, you can almost go on any cruise line for some sort of reasonable price. That was part of the motivation for that video. I feel like Carnival gets a little bit of a bad rap as being a cheap cruise line, but it's the big player. It is one of the big three, and I just think it's funny. It was one of those deals where I was in another chat room watching people lose their mind, and then just a quick Google search of Carnival is Walmart. It's amazing the amount of people that kind of sling that rhetoric around. So I got motivated today and talked about it a little bit. So somebody was asking if we're going to try to live stream on the cruise ship. We're going to give it a shot. So definitely on embarkation day, when we are still on our cell phones in normal U.S. Territory, we will do that. And depending on how the internet is on the cruise ship, we might give it a shot. But our friend Matt just came off the Vista, and he was able to live stream from the middle of the sea. They've got some special magic, internet there. But it's been our experience in the past. We haven't had enough juice to live stream, so we're going to try it though.
Right on, right on. Yeah, I know that's something I've been reading up on and mentioning on my streams. Especially Royal Caribbean has really been touting it from their end. Carnival lately has really been talking about it, that their internet speed will rival land speeds. As a matter of fact, Jim Zim, he was on his review of the Carnival Horizon. So the Norwegian Bliss. Pardon me. He just did a thing on the Norwegian Bliss because he took the Panama Canal cruise from Miami up to Los Angeles. He was talking about the fact that he just bought a new computer and he uses that now for his video editing. And he bought the fastest internet package that Norwegian could offer on the Bliss. And he said it's faster than the internet he has at home. And he lives in California, the home of the internet. He said speeds are faster in the middle of the ocean than in my house back in California. So pretty impressive. So I know that Jim posted a number of videos from the Bliss while he was on the ship, actually at sea. He had no trouble uploading videos whatsoever. So this is a thing that's coming our way, and I think it's a great event, great for us as YouTubers, because I too would like to do live streaming videos on cruise ships when I start traveling later this year. That's absolutely on my bucket list, and I think that's going to be great. So it'll be interesting to see if the ship you're on has been upgraded yet with the capability of that feature.
Yeah, we're going to give it a shot for sure.
Right on. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I just do have to say, I do agree with Peter with Carnival's customer service. We had a couple of issues our first cruise, like Tony had mentioned, and even our second cruise, there was a couple of issues, and they resolved them so quickly. And, Carnival, like Tony said, does get a bad rap sometimes of being compared to Walmart, but the customer service is top-notch.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We've seen that in the news stories, too, yeah.
The thing that a lot of people don't realize is Carnival is actually the largest cruise line on the planet. I mean, they own 10 different lines out there. You know, you're going on a Princess cruise. You're still with Carnival.
Yep.
Carnival owns
yeah.
Princess. Holland America is owned by them. P&O Australia, P&O Europe, Costa Cruises, you know, Cunard, Ada. They've got a huge number of brands. They know their stuff. Multi-billion-dollar cash flow corporation. They're, you know, they've been around a while, and they know what they're doing. You know, the second and third place companies right now, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, they're way behind Carnival in dollars generated. They're way behind. But the cruise line to watch is MSC, because MSC is delivering almost a cruise ship every 9 months now. And these are 4,000 to 5,000 passengers each in size. They're a privately held company out of Switzerland, and they are really coming up. They will pass Norwegian within about 2 years in capacity at the rate that they're growing. And then the other one to watch is Viking Cruise Lines. Now, Viking is a little higher end. Viking Ocean Cruises, 930 passengers per ship and about 600 crew. But it's all inclusive, and that's the sort of the lowest price line you can go on, where it's an all-inclusive package. And they are adding a cruise ship every 9 months as well, so they're coming on fast. Lots of changes.
Right, MSC, like you said, MSC is pretty intriguing with it being a privately owned company.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
They're owned by MSC Container Ships, which is the second largest container ship company in the world. They have 540 offices, I think it is, around the world for their container company. And so when MSC begins to expand out even further than they are now, they will eventually have probably 6 ships doing Caribbean cruising from various ports in the U.S. and ports out of the Caribbean. They are number one right now in the Mediterranean already. They're the number one cruise ship for passenger count in the Mediterranean. But they're also going to head Asia. They'll also do South America. They'll become global, and eventually they'll start giving Royal Caribbean a run for their money, unless, of course, cruise lines take over other cruise lines. And that kind of happened about 10, 15 years ago when Carnival swallowed up Cunard and Holland America, and to become the single largest cruise line company there is. So that, sometimes there are changes and consolidations in the business, but right now we got the big three with MSC and then Viking and others behind them. So, but for us as consumers, you can't complain. Man, have we got choices. All kinds of new ships coming out. It's fantastic for us.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good time to be a cruiser. So much new product coming on board. And I did see your story earlier in the week about the drop in the stock prices. And hopefully that all balances itself out. We talked about it on the podcast that, it might be tough for the companies, but it's going to be good for the consumers as they're trying to compete to get that demand up. So it should be a good time to be a cruiser for the next few years.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. Today, the U.S. Treasury raised interest rates by 0.25 percentage point. Doesn't sound like a lot, but psychologically, the days of super cheap interest rates might be coming to an end in the next year or two. That is going to change a lot of things in the economy as a whole, globally. Putting pressure on these discretionary expenses we have, which is vacations, going to Vegas, buying something for the heck of it. There might be a little cutback here, a little cutback there. Cruise lines feel it right away. It's instantaneous. So do the resorts in Las Vegas. Hawaii feels it right away, and all of a sudden prices come out super cheap to entice people to come on out. And of course, cruise lines, they would just as soon, if they have to sell a cabin for a week to the Caribbean for a $199, they'll do it because they want you on that ship. They want you eating their food in the specialty restaurants. They want you gambling at night. And they want to get you in the spa and maybe buying some artwork or whatever they can get you to spend money on. They want it.
Absolutely.
Interesting stuff. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough today for being my guests. I've had you on for an hour already. It's unbelievable how fast time flies here. My viewers have been just texting in like crazy. I know we've got a few of their questions and a few of their comments. A lot of them have been talking to themselves, saying hi to each other, which is kind of normal around here too. But I know my gang here, they really appreciate your channel. They love watching you guys. And when they heard I was going to be on your channel for the Cruise Wars, it lit up. They thought it was going to be great. We've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy to say, you guys are welcome anytime to come back here and chat again. Hopefully we can do this the next time. Hopefully the next time we do it, I'll have figured out how to do live streaming with a split screen, and we'll be able to see you in person, and we'll work the technology. But, one thing at a time, I guess, is how we're going to do this, the way it's going.
Absolutely. Yeah, Bruce, we appreciate you having us on. Thanks for coming to play with us for the Cruise Wars battles, and appreciate all the nice comments from your people, and good to see everybody from the local fam in the chat. So thanks so much for having us, and we definitely have to do it again. Keep up the good work, and keep pounding away, Bruce, because you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks you guys. Just so you know, your link is in this channel below here on the description. So anybody who wants to check out your channel, they can just click the link down below. It'll take them right over to the Lido. I have trouble saying that sometimes, but that's right. That's right. I paid my money. We'll get those folks over to check you out, and you guys take care of yourselves. Have a great trip in 17 days. I'm looking forward to your videos when you come back, and you're posting. Hopefully, you'll be posting some live, and we'll watch for that. And have a great cruise. And one of these days, you never know, traveling with Bruce and the folks at the Lido might be on the same ship at the same time, and all heck will break loose if that ever happened. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, that would be great. And I heard that you'll be sharing a room with Stephen Bean that time.
The
right?
steamer is dying to share a room with Jen and I. He keeps saying, it's so easy, Bruce. We'll just get an inside room, and we'll have one of those cots that's bolted against the wall that folds down from the ceiling, and I'll just grab one up there. I'll just be up there, no problem. You guys can be on the bed down below. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if the ship starts a rocking, the first thing that's coming over the edge is his arm. His arm's just going to be flopping. And then if that thing, one of those bolts lets go in the wall or the ceiling, we're in a world of hurt. I don't think I want to do that.
No. Listen, thanks so much for having us, and we really appreciate you being on the Cruise Wars battles, and this was a great time.
It was my pleasure, and thanks again for joining me today. We had a good time here, and you guys take care, and we'll see you on the Lido.
We'll see you on the Lido.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye for now. How about that? That's pretty cool. I love these guys. They're just great. They work so hard with 2 day jobs, and then they're doing their YouTube channel on the side. It's fantastic. They're putting out all kinds of videos. They're doing their live show every week. Thank you for tolerating this show today. I hope it's okay. I hope you guys heard everything all right. Your comments have been coming in like crazy, and I really appreciate it. And Jordan saying, awesome show. See you, Tony and Jenny. Stacy says, thanks for great chat. Jenny, Tony, and Bruce, and Jordan. Cruise War battles are epic. Bye. Randy, Lucas, Debbie E. That's an understatement. Great interview, Bruce, from Desi Wagner. And they're saying, thanks, everybody. Really loved it. Looks like we had a bunch of viewers in here today. So far, 33 thumbs ups. Thanks you for all that, you guys. The next time I have them on, or next time I have guests on, I'm hoping to figure out the technology here with the software. Now that I've got my cable in LinkedIn, as you know, folks, I've got this white cable over here for my internet now. I'm hoping that will be a reliable enough signal to be able to carry live stream with reliability, because what I'm afraid of is having the other person talk on a delay, and then here I am over here and with feedback and everything else, and we're trying to put it together. So I'm working on that, and as time goes on, there will come a time where I'll have split screens, and you'll see the folks just like you see me talking at the same time. But that was a lot of fun. These guys are great. They're going on their next trip in 17 days. I know that they weren't scheduled to go on a cruise, but it just got to them. They're addicted to cruising like so many of us, and they just went ahead and booked one with barely about 30 days notice. They booked a cruise, and they're going. And I'm looking forward to hearing their reaction to the Cayman Islands. How are they going to enjoy that? And then, of course, they're going to Roatan and Cozumel. So that should be a pretty good trip on Princess. They'll have a great time. Everyone here saying hi to me. Cool Jazz, great show, Bruce. Great interview as always. And Jordan saying, Joanne is here. Thanks, everyone. New here from the local fam. How you doing, Joanne? Thank you for coming over and watching. Love to have you as a regular. We're on every day, Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, Saturdays at 2 Eastern. And I also do a show Tuesdays and Thursday nights, trivia with Bruce, primetime trivia, 8 o'clock Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We have a lot of fun with that, and thank you for coming by. It's nice to have you here. Paul is here. Randy's here, welcoming Joanne to the channel today. Tracy Dunlop, Tracy Dunlop, you will, Bruce, little by little. Look what you've done in the 11 months. Thank you so much. And Jordan, local fam, have fun on your Princess Cruise. Tony and Jenny. Charles Jordan makes a big difference to your upload speed, Bruce, for sure, with this cable linked in. So far, I have had no problems. It's now 3 solid days without a single incident. I think we're okay here. And like I said, I want to grow this channel out. I want to get to the point where I'm working on the new software where you're watching me, but while you're watching me, I'll be able to control the screen. And if I want to talk to you about a certain ship, I'll be able to pop the picture of the ship up right on the screen. If I want to talk to you about a certain event that's going on, I can just pop that up while I'm doing this live. It's going to take a little bit of work and practice, and it'll come. The channel is growing, and the technology is growing with it, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. Charles Jordan makes a big difference on your upload speed, Bruce. And Jordan, Bakersfield. Hey, Randy and Michelle, that's a standard answer on our trivia question. The trivia answers are either Tokyo or they're Bakersfield. That's the first 2 guesses. If you don't know what it is, you just guess Bakersfield, you just guess Tokyo, you cross your fingers, and you hope you're right. That's the way it goes. Although sometimes I warn you, there's no Tokyo in this quiz. It comes and it goes. But we had a good crowd today. I'm really pleased with how many folks showed up. I'm really glad that the phone connection was as good as it was. We could hear them very nicely. And down in Charlotte, they're working down there and putting up the videos, and a lot of fun, and I had a great time. Steamer and I had a good time making that video. The Cruise Wars, that was pretty cool. The only info I had today was, I was just going to mention a little bit of info today about cruising, and that is when you are getting ready to get off a cruise ship, what do you have to do to make it work? It's the things you cannot forget, and I went on a bit of a list here. Number one, you got to check your safe in your room. Make sure you don't leave any valuables behind in that vault. Take your room key with you. When you leave your cruise ship, bring one of these babies home. Take them both home. Don't leave any of these in your room. These are souvenirs of your trip. But also, if you are leaving this in your room when you lock the door behind you, you can't get back into your cabin. And if you forgot something, if you're down in the de-embarkation area, one of the lounges, and you just remember, oh, geez, I forgot my whatever, you don't have this on, you can't get back in your room very easily. You're going to have to go down to the hotel services desk. They're very busy working on the new group of tourists coming on board. You don't want to throw this away. Bring this home. Keep them forever. It's a memento of your trip on that cruise. And sometimes you look at that and go, oh, yeah, it was 2015 I was on that ship. I forgot. Great to have those around. Also, before you pack your bags, before you go to bed and leave your bags out in the hallway for those porters to take away, leave out some clothing to wear tomorrow. If you're wearing PJs in bed and you forgot to leave out your clothing for tomorrow, you're leaving the ship perhaps with PJs on, or you're going downstairs to the retail floor and hope that someone will open up the retail floor so you can buy a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and a pair of flops, because all you got are your PJs. Make sure you leave a change of clothes out and then your PJs will go in your carry-on and you're good to go. That has happened before to some folks out there. Another thing about leaving a cruise ship, have a nice breakfast. Have a good breakfast. Get up earlier and have a nice breakfast for your last breakfast on the cruise ship, and make it a good one. The buffet's waiting for you. The dining room's waiting for you. Have a nice meal. Because you may find that after you get off the ship, you're heading to the airport, and you may find that you've got, in 1 hour, you're going on a plane, and the taxi is late, the traffic is bad, and you're panicking. You get to the airport, it's just rush, rush, rush. You have no time to eat at the airport, and you're starving because you didn't eat breakfast on the ship. Have a bite to eat on the ship before you get going. It's a good way to go. Loves to travel. It's hard listening to you guys and trying to read the chat. Cool Jazz. Randy, are you close to Agnew Place in Bakersfield? Peter, the card is how the crew knows you have left the ship. There you go. Randy Lucas, Cool Jazz. We're staying in Lebec tonight. Other things to check out before you get off the ship. Check your room bill. The night before you get off that ship, they'll slide your final room bill under the door. Check to make sure it's accurate. If there's something wrong, head downstairs to the desk and check it out. Don't wait until the morning that you're getting off the ship to argue about your room bill or go over something, because there's going to be a lineup of people and you don't want to be one of those guys. That is nothing but frustrating, especially if you've got an early flight off from where you are and getting off the ship at. Get your photos from the photo center the night before. That's a big one. A lot of people think, well, I'll just get my photos on the way out. You know, when we de-embark, oh, there's all kinds of folks thinking what you're thinking. You don't want to be doing that either, especially if you're pressed for time. Do it the day before and relax. Take your time. You have time to look those photos over to make sure they're just the way you want them before you buy them. Don't steal the bathrobes. If you want to take the bathrobes, you can take the bathrobes, but you're going to be charged for them. They're not free. I'm telling you right now, bathrobes are not included in your cruise. You get to use them, but you don't get to take them home. So if you want a bathrobe to take with you, I would talk to the front desk about that. They'll give you a brand new pair, brand new, never worn. Take those rather than the ones you got in the room. Those have been used before. They may have been laundered, but they might be frayed a little bit. Get a brand new set of bathrobes. But ask the front desk, how much are they? Make sure you can afford them. And then about the luggage, you can leave a cruise ship with your own luggage if you want to. You don't have to leave your luggage in the hallway the night before and they take it away, and then you try to find it after you clear customs down in that warehouse down there. If you can handle it, you have enough, just enough luggage that you and your wife or you and your traveling companion can take your bags with you. Go for it. Do that. You'll notify the ship. There's a form they'll send out to you probably 2 days or a day or two before it's time to leave. They'll give you a form saying what time do you need to get off the ship. Are you taking your bags with you, or are you not taking your bags with you? If you say, yes, I am, they will then tell you what level of the ship to be on at what time so that you can get off the ship with your baggage and you're on your way. But make sure you don't take too much, because if you take too much, you're going to be overburdened and you're going to be really struggling, and you don't want to be doing that. I did a video today about some tips on cruising. These were some of the tips that were included. If you get a chance, check it out. Let me know what you think of that video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And if you really like it, share it on Facebook to some friends and family out there. Let the world know Bruce put another video out today, and that'll help the channel get promoted. Joanne is saying, gotta go, gotta make dinner. Thank you, Joanne, coming, and you've subscribed. Thank you for joining the family. Love to have you here. Thank you so much. We'll see you again, I hope. Thomas Henry, Randy, looking for the tropical storm. Randy Lucas, Thomas H, we're keeping an eye on it for sure. Thomas Henry, don't let Michelle get blown away. Randy Lucas, good move. Joanne B, that Hurricane Bud has petered out. It's now hitting upwards of 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and it's falling fast. It's becoming a tropical storm. Lots of rain going up the Baja Peninsula. It should be going inland a ways towards Arizona. I don't know if California will get much rain out of this. The forecasters, though, will be on top of it, I am sure, and keeping everybody appraised of what's going on. But we'll see what's going on. Charles Jordan said, saw your video, Bruce. Great tips. Thank you, sir. And Jordan, how close is the storm? Randy and Michelle, stay safe. I don't think it's going to be an issue. It was a hurricane off the coast of Puerto Vallarta yesterday, but it's been moving north, and the further north it gets, the cooler the water temperature, and that is starving the hurricane of energy that it needed to keep going, and now it's starting to slow up and break down. And by the time it gets to Cabo and just beyond Cabo, it'll just be a tropical depression, just a big old rain event with the winds probably in the 20 to 40 mile an hour range. Nothing like catastrophic hurricane coverage. So that's good move. That's good. That's good news there. Debbie Manuel, yay, Joanne B, ditto, Joanne B. Everyone is saying hi to everybody here. It's fantastic, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today on this show. I hope it was all right for you guys. It sounded like the sound was loud enough for everyone to hear everybody. I love those two guys. They do great work. I really enjoyed having them here. And I think the show went fairly well. I was having a great time talking to them. Sorry I didn't read all of your comments today, but they just kept flying through, and I think everybody got the messages out. They were reading the comments as we were talking as well, and they know that you were sending them your best wishes, and so fantastic. Well, there you go. Today's show, not bad. And Randy Lucas and Jay, we're staying in Northern Baja. Not to worry at this point. Also, no Michelle on this trip. Just guys. It's just the guys. And are you in the big ass RV, Randy, or are you hanging out with the hotel? Good times. Imogene, I've done 8 or 9 Carnival cruises, twice on Vista. Will do Horizon after my next 2 Royal Caribbeans. Fantastic. Stacy, yep, great show. I enjoyed it. Suzanne Hoffman, great show. Till tomorrow. Debbie Manuel, stay. Show turned out great today, Bruce. Iskew Park. Hi, Bruce. It's Iskew. Sorry, I missed the show. You'll have to catch a rerun. We had the kids on from Lido Loca. It was a great time. I really enjoyed having him on the show. Guys, thank you so much for, or on motorcycles, Randy's saying, right on your motorbikes. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think this went very well. I'm on again tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern and 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is trivia night. Thursday night trivia. Here we go. I've got to put my show together for that. I'm looking forward to it. Cool Jazz, laugh out loud at Bruce. Could you not keep? Could not keep up. Wait till you hit 2,000. You can't keep up with the viewers then. Thomas Henry, Bruce, can you figure out why NCL is canceling the Sky Cruises in January, February? I will look into it, sir. See what's up. It might be a mechanical issue. We'll have to see what's going on there. That's an awful long time to be out of service. We'll have to see what's going on there. Harley all the way, Ann Jordan saying. Thomas Henry, bye, everybody. Thanks again for joining me, you guys. Today, June the 13th, 2018, the first time I had fellow YouTubers on my show on a live stream. Really enjoyed it. Great to have Tony and Jenny here. Jenny and Tony, love it. And you guys were fantastic. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thanks for all your thumbs ups today. Thanks for all your support of my affiliate link on Amazon. Thank you for your contributions to my existence on PayPal. And thank you for following me also on the Facebook page, Traveling with Bruce. Every day I get new requests for people who want to join in. And welcome to the party. Post your photos, your trips, your memories. I love it. Everyone seems to be getting a real great big kick out of it. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone is saying. And Jordan, see you all tomorrow. Peter Heckema, see you later. Take care, everybody. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Take care, everybody.